Hi there, here I am again with the first tutorial with the new Twinmotion 2025.1 version, and today rendering about a boutique that I've never been before. I only render normally interiors or at least exterior renderings, and boutiques or shops like the one you're seeing right now are something that I'm not used to render, of course. And the goal of today is to render something in particular, some panoramas to be seen on a virtual tour like the one that you are seeing right now on the screen. This is a really simple website that I will show you at the end of the video, where of course I can see through the scene and through the space only with some panoramas exported from, of course, Twinmotion. I'm using this specific concept and virtual tour only because there are a lot of people that are not able to use the cloud, the Twinmotion Cloud, because they don't have a Twinmotion commercial license, and without it they can't, of course, use the panorama set that is really useful. But not only for this, because the clouds in Twinmotion is really awesome, but there is a problem. The problem is that if in the Twinmotion Cloud you want to render something with the path tracer engine, you have to wait decades. Okay, you have to wait a lot of days to render all your projects. So the most important thing here is that if you want to have, let's say, a path tracer engine results like panoramas or images to be navigated through the scene or through a specific URL or QR code, you have to, in my point of view, export them locally and then import them on a specific website like the one that I will show you in a moment. But before creating medias, the first thing I just to let you see and know is that with this project I already included all the 3D models. A lot of them comes from the Twinmotion library. A lot of them comes of course from my favorite website, that is Zil Project. I've talked about it a lot of time, and all these 3D models comes from there, and I have also assigned to them all the textures, the materials from the Twinmotion library and the Megascan library. In particular, these ones are from the Megascan library, if I correctly remember. These are from, the Twinmotion library, in particular from the fabric menu, and if I correctly remember, this specific model got some problems in particular in the projection as for the textures, but here this problem is completely solved with the new Twinmotion, not the 2025 version, but the 2024 version, in particular in the UV section, because from here you can switch from the triplanar mapping from off to workspace, and from now on your texture is perfectly applied on the surface. And this is something I really love and enjoy from this version of Twinmotion. The fact that this is not something that maybe someone is using also Unreal Engine or other advanced rendering engines could maybe find really amazing, because this is something really common in advanced rendering engine. But here in Twinmotion is the first time we can use it, so it's really, for us and for me in particular, amazing to be used here. But let's move on, because not about materials, but maybe about 3D models. I've not put everything, because I wanted to show you exactly what I wanted to do. In particular, I'm creating buildings folder and set it as active, because in front of my scene or my boutique I want to have a building in particular, because my panoramas that will be my virtual tour in the website, I will upload them, will have some, will be of course something that will of course be able to round the viewport in 360 degrees. So I need of course to have something different from really an empty sky or landscape like this one. So from my user library, and I think I bought it from the CG Tips, the CG website, I just insert this particular model. I have used it I think in other videos on this channel, but this is really useful because right now, as you can see and notice, I have a really nice environment, so outside my scene. You can also add some imperfections on the surfaces, like for instance some decals, and of course not this one, but maybe the stains. And if you add some stains on this surface, maybe here, maybe there, and somewhere where you please, of course, you will increase, of course, the realism, maybe in decreasing the opacity and so on. But like this, of course, your scene will be, of course, a lot more realistic. Not only here, because all these glasses got some reflections, and the reflection will, of course, bounce in this direction. Here I have, of course, some trees, but of course I want also something in the background. And again, from my Twinmotion library, I have in the same folder, the city block, something I think I bought from CG Trader, or I don't know, Turbo Squid, I don't know where I bought it. And this is a really low poly ambient, but maybe the trees are not necessary. But this is really important for me because I'm not seeing it really close, but only through reflections. So this is something I just want to have in order to see on the glasses of this building as reflected. So let me see. I think it's perfect right now. So right now I can't see them because I'm with the standard engine, but if I turn on the path tracer, as you can see in the reflection of the mirrors, I see, of course, the city block. And this is exactly what I want to do, or to see from here, but of course better from here. Okay? Second thing, and really most important and relevant thing, concerns, of course, the lights. So I'm creating the lights folder and setting as active, and I'm assigning and creating lights for all these interiors, in particular dividing the lights into different blocks or containers. The lights from the first room, and then the lights from the second room. But inside the two different rooms, I will divide the lights in other groups. In particular, because here I have some spotlights that will have, of course, different settings from the spotlights from here. Okay, and I've noticed I missed some lights here, so there are 3 different categories of lights. As for here, I have some spotlights for the ceiling and some lamps, ceiling lamps here. So I will have in this room 2 different type of lights. So I'm just dividing the container into different containers. So room 1 and then room 2. Inside the room 1, I will create the spotlights, let's say wall, the spotlights I don't know, center, and the missing spotlight, of course. In the room 2, I will create the spotlights wall as well, and the spotlights center. Okay. Yeah, maybe here I'm not using spotlights for these ceiling lamps, but I just don't care at the moment. So let me just highlight the first container. So the spotlights that will cast some shadows and some light through the wall. So I'm just positioning some spotlights here. Yeah, maybe not exactly here, but let me just adjust it like this. Okay, and then rotate it something like that. Okay. And this specific artificial light will be duplicated as instances in all the spotlight I see in this parameter. Okay, the exact same argument will take place for all the lights in of course the project. So right now I'm just cutting the video because I don't want you to be annoyed from what I'm doing. You only have to know that I'm only duplicating all the lights. Yeah, one, and of course dividing them in different containers as the one I just created a moment ago. So I'm cutting the video. Okay, so I'm back. I just characterized the entire scene with all the spotlights, and from these lamps for the ceiling, I just created omnidirectional lights. So just to let you see what I done, I just pick the omnidirectional light, positioning here, and then of course duplicated as instances exactly as for the other spotlights. Just Ctrl Z a lot of time. I don't know what's happening. Okay, and as you can see, all these are instances. Well, I don't know why Twinmotion is really tricking me with these colors, but I can assure you that these block of lights, so the ones for the walls, and this group of lights got really different properties. As you can see, maybe by modifying this one and doing a colder temperature will of course affect the entire group because they are part of the same instance group, but of course not this one, even if it seems that they have the same color. Okay, the exact same thing applies for this one, but trust me, they are of course completely different groups. I don't know why Twinmotion is assigning this kind of color. I only added these lights, not this one, because here I'm just setting the active container this one, because I'm not creating nothing special, only moving inside my user library interior lamps, and from here I just saved a 3D model of a spotlight as a 3D model, as you can see, but it's not only this, because in particular this 3D model is composed, of course, of surfaces, but also by a spotlight. This is because before saving this specific model inside my user library, I grouped it with, of course, a spotlight inside of it. So anytime I insert my 3D model from my user library inside the Twinmotion scene, I will of course have the 3D model itself, but also with a spotlight, and then I just don't need anymore to insert a 3D spotlight, an artificial light near my 3D model spotlight. Okay, and this is really important to be done for me, in my point of view, of course, to save a lot of time. And from here, I of course want to duplicate it as instances. maybe 3 lights. I think it's enough. Let me just duplicate them and then of course move them. Yeah, perfect. So right now I have all these lights set inside, not set, but positioned inside my scene, and all these lights got default values. Okay, let me just adjust them maybe with really lower value, like 1. Yeah, maybe for the temperature I will use always these temperature, because I think it's quite standard for our needs. So all the lights got the same temperature. Maybe, let me see. Oh, of course, the shadows. Let me see if I pick all this spotlight together. Shadow. Yeah, I think I can modify all of them in just one click, and the same as for the intensity. Of course, I will change the intensity of any group, of course, after the test phase, but for now I just need any lights to be a little bit adjusted. Of course, the last one is the omnidirectional, and of course casting shadows. If you activate the shadows for all your lights, your model, your scene inside Twinmotion will start slowing down. So if you don't want it to happen, of course you can maybe when you navigate into the scene, just turn your lights off, so you can move, of course, in a lighter way. But again, of course, after that, if we want to create the medias, we need to, of course, switch it on. Maybe just create some view set. Oh, this is from some other model, I don't know. Let me just delete them. 1 and 2. The first view set could be renamed lights off, and the second one could be renamed lights on. So let me just deselect them. Lights off, it's okay like this. Lights on will be updated like this. So lights off, everything off. Lights on, everything on. So in the viewport navigation, we have the lights switched off, and with the media creation, we will have the lights switched on, updated. Okay, why I'm creating images if I need panoramas? Only because I don't know, and I can't have the how do I say in English? I can't have the total views of the 360 panoramas for all these projects. So I'm just creating an image as a reference, and then I will take this reference and the properties of this image to create, of course, my panorama. I could, of course, use this image to also create videos, presenters, and any kind of media it comes to my mind. But the first step is always to create an image. Always. For me. For you, it could be create the panorama and do whatever you want. But for me, it's really simpler to create an image as a reference. Okay? And then, of course, copy these its properties, and then, of course, transport it in the other medias I need to create. Maybe I can create something that could be and become the thumbnail of my YouTube video. Yes, so something like that, and then I can update it, and let me just turn it off. Okay, no, not this one, but this I really need. I'm not using the dynamic sky for this example, I'm using an HDRI, so I'm so sorry if I'm not using the new volumetric sky, but only because I'm in an interior, so I don't need specific clouds coming from the external. So I'm using maybe a sky, morning and afternoon cloud. No clouding, no, because I don't need the clouds, so something from the clear. Yeah, I only have this one already downloaded, so I think I will use it. Okay, because I don't want to wait it to download. And then let me just see. Okay, I just want it to be rotated in order to have some lights coming inside my scene. And let me just see what's happening, of course, with the Lumen engine, but of course the lights behavior is of course the same. With this particular scene, in particular with the lights, why it's happening this here? Oh yeah, it's nothing relevant. I don't remember what I was saying. Well, it will arrive. But anyway, with the Lumen engine, I can of course start modifying my ambient settings and my environment setting. But for this, yeah, now I remember. For this purpose, I will activate the path tracer and then start working with the scene as it is with the path tracer. Yeah, what I was saying is that in this particular case, so with a scene with all these reflections, all these mirrors, all these lights, all these clothes that got a lot of triangles, and so on, the scene will be really slow. So also the path tracer will have some problems to generate the scene and cast properly the shadows. So this is the situation, we accept it as it is. So I'm just maybe moving in the HDRI tab, and of course from here increase the intensity to its maximum. With this new version, the intensity is not limited to the 100 value you see here, but you can also go or modify it with higher values. For instance, in this example, I just moved to 200 intensity. I've done this because here with the new version I don't have the ambient value with the HDRI that was proper a value that helped me to increase let's say the lights inside my scene, to be really simple. Okay, so to cover that missing value, I'm just increasing a little bit the intensity, maybe not 200, let's say, or not this, yeah, maybe 150. Okay, something like that. And all the other parameter will be as default, because from here I really don't need something else. Yeah, the wind is not something I need. The fog should be turned off because I really don't need fog here to destroy my scene. And the most important thing here in the exposure menu is of course the exposure value. So from here, maybe let me just decrease it a little bit, and then I need of course to, after that, increase the lights, in particular the lights from here, from the second room, because the sunlight is not arriving there, and then of course I need some lights to help me illuminate the scene, because from here maybe let me just increase it a little bit, 200. Yeah, my scene in the first room is perfect, I think, and everything is perfectly highlighted. So 200, I think, it's perfect. So I just want maybe a little bit like this. Local exposure have been a little bit modified, because right now the 0.5 value are the last one value, if I correctly understood. Because if we right now move the shadow below the 0.5, we will have really low values for the shadows, and as you can see, all my shadows will start losing their effects. Okay, so for the moment I'm just taking it something like that, like it was the previous one value. And here there is something really annoying. Let me just turn the path tracer off, because let me also turn the lumen off, because I think that this exposure glow value is really high. Let me just put 1000, and then let me see with the low path tracer menu. Okay, right now it's quite better. So from here, the last thing I want to do before going with the first test is, of course, modify the lights. So from the lights from the first room, so the ones that will cast lights and shadow on the wall, will be, of course, by activating the path tracer, I need to, of course, the radius is, oh yeah, fantastic. They already activated the radius value for the spotlights. Oh no, only for, yeah, because this has been created in a previous version. Maybe I have to update my file inside the user library. But as you can see, all the lights, this is something I missed from my previous test, is that all the spotlights now have their own radius value, not own, but a default radius value, of course, only by using the path tracer for the moment. And this is really amazing in my point of view. But let's back to our scene. The first spotlight group could maybe be something like, I don't know, 5 intensity, because I don't want it to be to burning the wall here. So with a really low value could be perfect. And cone angle, yeah, maybe something like that is okay. Same thing for the spotlights in the center of the room, but here maybe going with a higher value. So here 5, here let me say, I don't know, 10, maybe, increasing a little bit the cone. The missing spotlight, this one could also be equal to the previous one, maybe, let me say 20 with a cone angle of almost 100 degrees. But the most important ones are the spotlights in the second room, so the showroom itself. And for them, maybe, I don't know, maybe here, if for this I just put 10, for them maybe 20. So I have, as you can see, higher value of lights there. So maybe 20, cone angle again something like 100 degrees, and I think like this it's okay. So the last are the omnidirectional lights. Let me see, of course the shadow are on, and for them also 20. I think it's okay. Okay. The only one thing I just want to see is if in my mirrors I will see, yeah, the sphere of the omnidirectional lights, like these that you are seeing right now. And this is not something I want to see. So to reduce to not seeing the sphere, the light sphere on the mirror, we need to decrease the attenuation value, maybe to 3. Yeah, the first one has disappeared, but not this one. That is, yeah, this one. So maybe for this one, I'm just breaking the instance. So this one will be unlinked to the previous 3. And this one maybe could be 2, 1.5, 1.8, 1.9, 1.8. Perfect. So the only thing you need to understand and to understand is that all these, oh no, let me just see. Let me just put 1.75. Okay. The omnidirectional light, as the same thing, of course, applies to all the lights, the artificial lights. Here in Twinmotion, for the moment, are visible on the mirrors and on the reflections, if the attenuation, of course, touch the mirror or the reflection. Okay, so right now I don't have any lights and any attenuation of the lights hitting some specific mirrors or reflections. So like it is right now, I think it's perfect. Let me just back on my scene and see what's happening, and I think I can maybe increase my ambience a little bit, quitting the media mode. Oh no, let me just set it as a medium path tracer and then export it as the first test. So this one exporting here, and then of course let's see the results. So let me see the first result. I'm just picking it from the folder, and this is the result, of course, with the medium quality. It's a little bit hot as temperature, so I'm just decreasing it a little bit, but the lights I think are quite good, of course in this first part of the room, in this room, but maybe there I have to increase a little bit the lights, maybe also here. Yeah, let me back in my scene. I'm just switch them on, so with just one click and just modifying them. Yeah, the spotlights on the wall I think are nice. Yeah, maybe in the scene in the center I can increase them a little bit. The missing spotlights will be maybe 50, so we can see what's happening. And the spotlights on the walls from the second room will be, I don't know, maybe 35. Let's see what's happening. And the omnidirectional lights, I'm just picking them all together because as you remember, I just broke the instance between 3 of them and the last one, but I want them to have the same intensity, so I set 35, so 35 again for them. And for this render I also need it to be a little bit colder, So let me just finish the engine to calculate this specific frame, so I can see exactly what's happening as a temperature. Perfect. Yeah, maybe something neutral like this. Okay, and let me just see. Yeah, I think it's okay. Last but not least, maybe in the camera I can also, well, here I'm not noticing it because all the details are a little bit lower in a quality way because of course I'm using really low really low values for the environment, but some sharpness I think could be interesting for us. Maybe here I'm using 20 something useful. And also in the effects, let me just maybe add some contrast. Yeah, some contrast. Maybe something like 55 for the saturation, 45. Yeah, something like that. And then, of course, another test with the render. The media is also always the same, and then start the export. So the render has finished, so let me just pick it again. This is the last one, and this is the new one. Yeah, I think that the lights now it's really more accurate, and I think we're done here. Oh yeah, maybe some glow. I can add maybe some glow. Yeah, some glow on the image, and then I'm starting creating, of course, the panoramas. For the glow, I could maybe increase the bloom effect with this maybe, and then quit the media mode. Yeah, I'm not testing it because the bloom intensity, I think it's good with 100%. Yeah, as a 100 value. I don't know if I can go. Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. I didn't know about it, but I think 100 is a good value. And let's say our tests are done. What from now I have to do, of course, is taking this image as a reference and then create my panoramas. Okay, so from here maybe I'm just deactivating the panorama, the path tracer. I move through the scene and I'm just maybe picking my image. So this one will be the first media, the first panorama. In the XYZ tab, I can set the high of the camera, so 1.7 as a high default. Okay, so this one will be the first one. So I don't know what's happening here. We just see the scale. Oh, 20. 10. 1. Yeah, 1 I think is perfect. I don't know why it was like that. Okay. Yeah, as you can see the normal, how good they are. Yeah, I love normals. The second image could be maybe something like that. It doesn't really care where you're picking your image for panoramas, because panoramas are 360 degrees, so you are not focused on a single frame. So maybe this one, again, here 170. as an I default. And let's say the last one will be maybe in the second room, in the showroom itself, so something like that. So we also see outside. And then plus 173, it's okay. And for each one of them, I'm just activating the path tracer. And from now on, activate these scenes, these medias, these images, call them as you please, will have exactly the same properties as the image, the render image I created until now. Okay, so the creation of this image and the tested image has been fundamental for me to create these panoramas with just one click. Okay, so what's happening now? Well, of course, for each of them I will modify the rendering sections. In particular, I will increase the samples to at least 5, 1, 2. Okay, because it's a medium high value. 1024 could be 1024 could be of course better, but the panoramas in path tracer engine will take a lot of time to be rendered. Okay, it depends of course on your time, on your needs, and of course on your hardware. But consider that all the panoramas exported locally with the path tracer engine, if exported with these values, I think here there is nothing important for me, but in the export menu, once selected, let's say the first panorama, you also need to set the resolution, okay? And exporting it with the 6K resolution, that is the default, or the 8K resolution will change a lot in terms of time, okay? Let's say that with 6K resolution and the value I set a moment ago, my final render will be calculated in, well, I don't know, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours. It depends, of course, on the hardware, but the same image rendered with 8K resolution will take maybe 4 hours, 6 hours. Of course, it depends on the hardware, but you have to understand and consider that the panoramas in the path tracer engine, because they are 360 degrees images, needs a lot of time to be rendered. Okay, so these are for me important to be rendered maybe as test with the 2K resolution, only to see how the lights is working in the entire scene. Of course, I already calculated the lights with the image I tested a lot before of this moment, but of course other tests with maybe 2K resolution, from my point of view, are necessary. Okay, but of course I don't have 6 hours for each panoramas to be rendered. Of course, I already rendered these panoramas, and let me just search for them. Of course, I don't see them. Let me just see them, find them. Okay, if I correctly see them, yeah. There they are. So this is the first panorama. This is the render we done together. What's happening? Let me just pick the panorama again. Yeah, this is the second one, and this is the last one. Okay, so these are the 3 panoramas I created with, if I correctly remember, 6K resolution. Yeah, 6K resolution. It took, I think, 4 hours each, but where and how to use these images. There are a lot of websites where you can put your 360 degrees images. This one is just an example, Kula's website, but you can use also, I don't know, Momento 360, This is another website where you can of course put your 360, but there are a lot of websites like this, and they all offer free license to of course try the service. And in particular, like with this one, you have of course to go to my tour, create your tour, put your images. They will be of course uploaded in a moment. Let me just put a name, I don't know, Twinmotion Guru virtual tour. Yeah, I'm just posting it. A problem occurred. Let me just save it. Let me just pick them one by one like this. Tour name. I don't know why it got an error, but I don't care, because once they will all be uploaded, I will have my, let me just cross the finger. Yeah, I will have my virtual tour ready to be seen. Okay, and I will be of course will be able to see through my boutique like this. As you can see, I don't have my globe there reflecting on the mirrors, and this is something really important for us. But with the 6K resolution, you can maybe see that there are some artifacts like these ones on the shadows. You can of course decrease this value by of course increasing maybe the final resolution, but in particular the samples per pixel. Okay, this image I think has been created with the 512 samples per pixel value. Of course, if you increase that value, you will have a higher quality, but of course the time will be a lot higher to render your images, of course. And this is it for this tutorial. Oh no, of course, let me just save it and let you see close my tour. Let me see if I can share it. Tour settings. I don't remember. Yeah, how to I don't remember. I've done it a lot of time, but anytime it's really share here. I can share this link, and what my customer, my colleague, or anyone will see is exactly this, as this is exactly what you can see by clicking on the link in the description of this video. Okay, so of course here there is the Kula logo, but of course if you pay a subscription or a plan they offer, you will be able to insert your logo and do a lot of more things like add some spot, some descriptions, some links, and so on. For the moment I just don't care, so right now, like it is right now, I think is perfect. So this is a great way to share your projects with your customers or with anyone you want, also without having the Twinmotion commercial version. Okay, so I think this is it for this video. I thank you for your attention and to have been part of this community and for this video. I will really appreciate if you share your thoughts, your opinion, and suggest me in the comments some topics for the next video I will publish. And last but not least, have you a good day or evening, and see you very, very soon. Ciao!